Hello friends! So today we're making bows. Just like a bunch of simple bow accessories. The first thing you need is ribbon. I've got here a wide range of ribbon. Some thicker guys with wire, some normal satin ones. These two are 5/8 of an inch. One is from the Dollar Tree, the other is from a craft store. And the craft store one has more on the roll, but the Dollar Tree one's cheaper overall. The next thing you're going to need is some kind of finding to put your bows on. You've got alligator clips, two-way clips. We've got some pin backs. Oh, some bobby pins first. And then I've got a couple different sizes of pin backs. These are just craft size ones that you can either hand sew on or use with glue. They're really great for a wide range of things, so you can pick whichever you want. The next thing that you will need is some scissors, of course. You'll need something to finish the bows, like a lighter or fray check. I used a lighter in this case. And then you're going to need hot glue to assemble it all together. It's important that you have a high temp gun. Then, oh, of course, measuring tape. It's not as important, though. So I'm going to start off with my 5/8 inch satin ribbon. For the white one, what I'm going to do is just take a length of it and tie a bow. Very similar to what you do with your shoes. You make two bunny ears, you wrap them around each other, and then just pull it tight. And then I'll spend a few minutes just adjusting, making them cute, making sure they're even lengths. Once I'm happy with how it looks, that's all you need. Measure it, make sure the ends are about even, and clip them. Very simple, very easy. I love doing a bunch of little bows like this. I'm going to make a pair of them real quick. And these are going to be just like smaller, more petite. They're a little bit closer, a little bit boxier for this style. Yeah, they usually require a bunch of fiddling to get them to look just right. For these, I'm going to keep them just squared on the bottom. And now I'm going to finish the ends. Just the lightest bit of touch of flame. Be safe when you're doing this. Be careful. If you shouldn't be handling a lighter, please don't. But it's mostly safe enough. Don't burn your house down. I'm going to put these on bobby pins just because it's really the most... You can stick them anywhere from there. The easiest way to do that is to just run the bobby pin straight through the center of the bow. After you do that, you're going to have to, of course, like preen them a little bit, square out the bows again. But you can switch the bobby pin from either side to stick it anywhere on your head. This is like the lowest cost, easiest thing. The spool of dollar store ribbon was, of course, $1. So I also got these bobby pins there for $1. There's less than 20 cents into each one of these bows. If you really need an easy DIY hack for a cute accessory, you cannot beat these little hair ties. And they're so cute. You can decorate them with other stuff later on as well. Now next, I'm going to use the exact same size ribbon, but in a different color. And for these ones, I'm going to make a little bit longer, floppier of a bow. I forgot to plug in my hot glue gun there. For these next ones, I'm going to do a couple of different styles, but they start off the exact same. You make sure you've got a longer tail at the end before you tie the bow. You just, again, make two bunny ears, tie them around each other, pull out the ear. Oh. Sometimes I make the loops a little too small, so it's good to take your time and don't rush. Since I've decided to make the tails a little bit longer, I'm going to go ahead and make the loops a little bit longer as well. It's nice. This is a good size. It fits comfortably in the palm of my hand. Since the tails are longer, I'm gonna like pull them till they match evenly and then trim them to be the same length. For this set, I'm gonna make them a little bit nicer on the ends instead of just keeping it square. I'm gonna fold the ribbon in half and then cut from the middle down towards the point to get this V shape. It's a very common finishing you'll see on little ribbon bows. I think it's adorable. There is a trick to getting them even. I haven't figured out that trick exactly. Just patience and practice for the most part. It's not too noticeable though, but they're a little off. I will always preen these little guys after I finish them. I just little tug there, little tug here. Make them nice. I'm gonna go ahead and make a second one. Exact same method. Keep a long tail. You wrap them, the ears, around each other. You've got a little loop in the back, and that's what you pull it through with. And then again, adjust them just so that they're even. And again, line up the tails so that they match. For this one, I'm going to just do a straight diagonal cut. I'm trying to decide if I want to go inside or outside. I'm going to cut towards the inside of the ribbon for these. Trying to make the angle even. So next, again, take our trusty lighter, finish the edges. Again, finish the edges. There you go. Those are done. I'm going to clear my workspace just a little bit. Then I'm going to do something different with each one of these. For the first one, I think what I'll do is I'll turn it into a hair clip, and the second one I will turn into a pin. So grab one of my alligator clips, that'll go and attach straight to the center, and then same with the pin back, I'll attach it directly to the center of the bow. For this, we of course need the hot glue gun. We're just going to put the smallest amount of hot glue right in the center. The interesting thing about hot glue, the way it works, is the higher temperature it melts at, the stronger the bond it forms, which is why it's important to use a high temp gun. You do have to be careful not to get any glue on you. It can cause burns if you're not careful. But we're going to do the same thing for both of them. Just put a little dollop of glue in the center after making sure they're perfectly square. Little dollop. And so for the glue to lose its strength, it has to reach the same temperature that it was melted at. So high temp is the way to go if you're going to use hot glue. You can also just hand stitch these to the clips or backings, whatever you want to use. It takes a little bit longer, but there's no additional cost. And all of these items can be found at your local craft store, both the alligator clips and the pin back. I always like to check that the alligator clip opens after I glue it, just to make sure I didn't get any glue on the teeth. But there, we have some cute little ribbon bows. Again, for your hair or for an accessory. You can pin it onto anything. The next, we're going to take the slightly thicker ribbon. This one is 7/8 of an inch. You can see the size difference, even though both of them are less than an inch thick. I love the 7/8 inch. It is one of my favorite sizes. to work with. I love doing it as a kind of boxy bow, so like what I did with the white one. And again, we're just going to tie them the exact same way. Make the little loops go over each other and through the loop in the back. This one I will spend more time making sure that the loops themselves are close to the length of the actual ribbon, not much larger. I find that the more square the bow is, the cuter. This one's ended up a little, not quite as square, but the big puffy ears are just so adorable. I love this. Just line up the tails again and trim them so that they're even. And this one I will always do the little V shape. You can finish the ends however you want. Keep them square, do them at just a straight angle, or again, do the V like how I'm doing here. All of these bows that I've done so far are just so easy, and they make great little accents onto other items. Instead of turning them into clips of their own right, you can stick them onto a headband you already have, or just put a charm in the center. But for now, we're just making simple clips. I think for this one, I'm going to go ahead and put it on alligator clip again. That's just my favorite way of wearing these. I'll often make two so that I can have one on each side. You can just put a little bit of glue in the center. Just the smallest of amount. You don't need a ton. And just cover the area that you want the clip to be in. And press it down. I usually hold it for a few seconds. And I'll give it a quick blow to make sure that the glue cools down, because that'll make it set. There, it's ready to go. Okay, this next bow. These are ones I actually make for my shop. I use these big containers that are 50 yards. I get these usually during the holidays. You can get smaller ones, like only a few yards from the normal craft store. I always have these big ones. They're usually like $15 to $20, but again, since I'm making it for the shop, I use up the whole thing most of the time. I do have some pre-cut, so I'm gonna pull those out to show for you guys. This is where you'll need the measuring tape, because these bows are a little more complicated. You of course need your scissors again. I'm gonna act like I'm cutting them now, but I already had them cut. You need a long boy, you need a short boy, and you need a very short boy. So with these three pieces, we're going to turn them into one nice bow. So the length of them is important. For this ribbon, it is 1.5 inches thick, and the long one is roughly 11 to 12 inches long. This one's like 11 3/4. It really depends on how big you want your bottom bow to be. The smaller one is 8 inches long. And then the short guy is roughly 2 inches. Now, we're going to fold the short boy and the long boy, in half. The reason why we do that is because we want a little crease in the center that'll mark as our center point. And that's very important, so you make sure you press down on that. It's also important that you use wired ribbons for this. It just really helps it maintain the shape, and it helps you again set the center better. For the small guy, we're gonna use him to hold these two together. So he's a little thick. What we're gonna do is just fold him into thirds real quick, and then we'll put a little bit of glue on both the top and the bottom to help hold it in place. I usually will pinch the edges a little bit just to make my life a little easier. I put the glue on there. Now be careful while you're doing this. Again, you don't want to burn yourself. I've been doing this for years and years and years. I've got plenty of practice. I still will occasionally burn myself. So be careful. But just press it down. Again, careful not to get it on yourself. I like to make sure that the tubes are shut. Makes my life a little bit easier when we're assembling it at the end. Oh, got some. It's okay. I'm fine. Next, we're going to take a little bit of glue and glue these together. We're going to do 2 spots on each side, going down the center, 2 in the top, 2 in the bottom, 2 in the middle. Looks like this. And you don't need a lot of glue, just enough to keep them held together and in place. The larger the dollops, though, the more time you'll have before the glue sets to get everything in place. I then will scrunch them up so that the bow remembers kind of the shape I want it to be in. And there. You can also stop here if you just want a simple little bow. You take your middle guy and you'd wrap it around, and that's that, and he's ready and done. But we're gonna make it fancy. This is how I like to do them. This is a double layer. So we'll do the same thing with the zigzag, with the 6 little points of glue. And fold them over to the center. And again, like, you don't want to rush it because you don't want to burn yourself, and just again pinch it so that the bow remembers the shape. At this point you just put the 2 together. I usually put one on top, then I try and hold them in place. You wrap the center guy around the whole thing. I like to put a little fold in the back. This isn't necessary, but I feel like it makes it look a little cleaner at the end when you finish it. And just tuck everything down. Make sure everything's where you want it, and then you put, again, just a little dollop of glue. And you press it all in place. Once you've got, oh, I got a little bit of glue on myself again. But he's done. Now he just needs a quick preen, make him pretty, make sure everything is in place. So what I'll do is I will pull on just the inner bottom parts and kind of square it out, make a, not a right angle, but something pretty close to that. Pull it in towards the middle, and then the same on the top. And then for the top bow, I do it on the bottom of the top bow as well. And there you have it. These are my 4-inch bows. That's roughly the width of them right now. And you can finish this off with an alligator clip. That's what I normally do. Or a 2-way clip. Or a pin back. Really whatever you want to put on there. It's ready to be used. So I think the wired ones are my favorite. But here we've got all of the little bows I've made today. You kind of see them all together. And there you have it. A bunch of little bows. I hope you guys enjoyed. Be sure to like and subscribe. Check out my other videos if you want to see other cute kawaii fashion content. Have a great day.